This is Sunday Journal from WBRZ News 2 Louisiana. A look at the issues facing our state and community.
A new hope, a new beginning to help children emerge in the battle against autism. Happy Thanksgiving weekend and welcome to Sunday Journal. I'm John Pastorek. Today, the battle against autism is being waged at a special place, the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation. But it's experiencing a new beginning with a new name and a new home, helping even more kids emerge into a world of possibilities. Since 1960, thousands of children have walked through the doors of the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation. Children trapped by the limitations of speech, language, and hearing impairments, and autism. And through the center's cutting-edge technologies and therapies, they've emerged on their way to independent communication and social interaction. Kids like 3-year-old TreyFletcher, who was diagnosed with autism right before his second birthday.
It was devastating, it really was. It was like somebody had taken his future and just said, put a big question mark on it.
It's estimated 1 in 88 children are diagnosed with autism, 1 in 55 boys. But the Fletchers found hope at the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation.
He's made phenomenal progress. He still has a long way to go, but from where he started, he's a different child than he was before.
Now the foundation is changing its name and location. In January, they'll break ground on the new Emerge Center for Communication, Behavior, and Development, a 26,000 square foot facility where the autism program will be able to serve up to 100 children a year, more than double the center's current capacity.
Anyone in this community probably knows a child with autism. What we know is early intervention makes a huge difference.
A new beginning with a new name and a new symbol. A butterfly emerges from its cocoon, just like the children emerging from the darkness and despair of a developmental or learning disability. Children like Trey. Well, coming up, we're going to meet a family on the front lines in the battle against autism. But first, here's how you can help the center with its new beginning and maybe even win a new car. Join the battle against autism and maybe win a set of new wheels. Help the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation build its new home, the Emerge Center for Communication, Behavior, and Development. Get a chance to win this 2013 Lincoln MKZ, courtesy of Robinson Brothers. Tickets are $100 apiece, but they're only selling $1,500. You can purchase your tickets and get more information at battleagainstautism.com or by calling 362-9049. The drawing's coming up February 28, 2013, so get your ticket today. Help kids emerge, and you might emerge in this, a brand new Lincoln MKZ. Today, the battle against autism. Let's meet one family that's on the front lines of this battle. The Fletchers, Jamie, Bobby, and Trey. 3-year-old Trey was diagnosed with autism right before his second birthday.
Having older children, you have a sense of certainty in their future.
Sure.
You know that they're going to do this, they're going to go to high school, they're going to go to college. And hearing that diagnosis and not being really knowledgeable that there's help out there and there's hope, that it was devastating, it really was. It was like somebody had taken his future and just said, put a big question mark on it. And I broke down crying. And it's just I guess it's a grieving period that you go through.
And makes you have to go to school, back to school pretty quickly, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What was your reaction, Bobby, when you heard the news?
Similar to Jamie's, but looking at the first thing we did was went to the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation directly from the neurologist, one of the recommendations on where's a good place for him to go. And we drove straight there and met with Melissa. And basically, they had one spot available, which is very unlikely. And he got in, so somebody was watching over us and him to help him get the help he needs for success.
As Melissa says, she just told us, early intervention is so important.
Absolutely.
Take us back, he had the diagnosis, but what did you notice in him that told you, something's not just right here? No
babbling, no speech patterns at all. just completely silent. We would go once a week to my mother-in-law's house for 2 years, and he would sit on my lap, clenched to me, had nothing to do with other people. Very, very apprehensive. Like, we'd go to the store, he would keep his head down. There's just a fear of other people, essentially, but the biggest thing was his speech, and then his feeding, which is something you really never hear of. He was fine on stage 1 baby foods. As soon as we moved to stage 2, he was absolutely repulsed by food, repulsed. And so we started the physical diagnosis, thinking it was acid reflux, when he was about 1.5 years. Because as a mother, you rule out the physical.
Sure.
So, and it turns out it's a very common symptom and part of the diagnosis. And like haircuts, it's torture. There's a lot of sensory issues that you're not aware of, and so since then we've really taken on awareness to the public too, that some of the things that you think about autism really aren't what you picture and what you think of. And there should be, every pediatrician should have a checklist in their office, because I had a pediatrician that wouldn't listen to me. And had I not been a parent before, he wouldn't be getting the help he needs. So as a parent, you need to be an advocate for your child first and look at all the signs and really know that some of them, because like they say, you meet one child with autism, you've met one child with autism. So
when you look at him today versus what you remember about when you first look, what do you see now?
He's grown significantly in his ability to communicate, being able to deal with situations that normally he would just reverted into just being still, not interacting, to being more engaged, not only with the family members, but outside the family. And new situations did not have that negative impact on him like they used to. And he's made phenomenal progress. He still has a long way to go, but from where he started, he's a different child than he was before.
What about you, Mom? What have you seen?
Oh wow! I mean, it's unbelievable. What they do there is gold. It really is, because they've opened up a world to him. They really, really have. And because there's 2 different sections of it. He's in a group therapy session with some other kids, just like him, and they teach him to socialize, which is a key component too. And then he has ABA in the afternoons, where he's one-on-one therapy. And when we first started, I had speech here, I had OT there. There was all these different centers I was having to take him to at the beginning. And with Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing, they just kind of put it under one roof and really individualize his therapy to him. So, and it's just, we would not be here right now if 1.5 years ago.
When he first came in the studio, to me, he looked like any normal, energetic little boy. He was doing the weather with Dave Nussbaum. I mean, just curious as a cat. And they're calling themselves now, it's going to be called the Emerge Center, and on their logo is a great image. It's of a butterfly. When you think of butterflies come from those cocoons, they're kind of locked away. It's in that in this very dark, just this little cocoon, and then all of a sudden it slowly comes out. It emerges. Is that kind of a description
of him? That's exactly it. Yes, that's exactly it. And they told us it would be like that. It would just, for I'd say probably 6 to 8 months, it was the constant, because they do. Part of it is repetition. It's teaching him the same skill over and over and over, where these same skills to an other 2-year-old would be just come naturally. And he just kind of had his own little world, and we were just kind of there around him. And now he's just, he loves his big brothers. He interacts. He thinks he's as big as they are. And
he is.
Yeah. And his speech is really, to hear Mama for the first time, oh my gosh, it was just amazing. And that was just
I bet you that was a great experience.
It was just maybe 3 months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. He's been saying daddy for a while. But
Well, as you said, and as Melissa said, you know, they're seeing more and more cases of autism. I mean, it seems like there are more diagnoses with that. You know, if there's, you know, a family watching this this morning that maybe they're in a similar situation that you all were a couple of years ago, what would you tell them? What would be your, you know, and that's what part of your mission now is you're going out and raising awareness. What would you tell a family like that?
Really, really. Like I said, be your child's advocate. If you're scared to talk to your pediatrician, if you see some of these, there's websites out there that have the checklist that every pediatrician should have. And if you think that your child falls onto one of those, if it's not one, if it's another, keep fighting. And if you have to find another pediatrician, get another pediatrician. Where do you go down there? And really advocate for your child, because there is so much help out there. And through, I also got involved with Families Helping Families, which is a wonderful support organization for a parent, because you're alone out there kind of at the beginning. It's like, okay, I have this diagnosis, what do I do now? And you have other parents that are just like you, going through the same things.
And it all comes back to the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation.
Absolutely. I mean, they gave us hope.
What did they do?
Bye, Trey.
Hey, buddy. What did they do for your son?
They gave him the opportunity for the metamorphosis to develop into where he is now. That without that kind of support and resources and opportunities, you know, we would still maybe be searching for appropriate answers, and they've helped open those doors, not only for us as parents, but for him as a child to have a better opportunity.